people say that human beings play games because they're young. So games and play is something that children do typically. I think lots of probably mums, are there any mums here?
Sure. Yeah.
Can relate to that. We very often can see memes on Facebook where moms say like, I have been playing with my child for like 5 minutes and it feels like 6 hours.
Yeah.
For kids it's exciting, it's the way they experience life, they learn. For adults, not that much fun. You're happy to spend time with your child apparently, but games is not something, at least role-play games, is not something we as adults really get so engaged in, at least not as a vehicle to learn more about the world. We know all that. And yes, basically play is an essential vehicle for development for younger kids especially. You can see how things will change with age, but for smaller kids, 3.5, 4, 5, role plays are the way to understand life. So we will start by looking at very small kids, 3 to 5. These are several things we know about them. They learn holistically. Holistically meaning... Holistically would generally mean that they learn using all the senses. They don't learn only by analyzing information or looking at pictures or touching things. But yes, but all these things combined. So holistic learning would be with all of those things involved. Listening and speaking and touching things and moving all at the same time. It's not the differentiated skill approach that we use with older children, right? We know that younger kids, yeah, that's a sensible idea. Would you mind if I open the window a bit? Okay. We know that younger children have limited motor skills, so cutting and smaller details are out of the question. That's why we want to provide the materials for crafts and games already prepared. We know that children who are young enjoy exploring the world of objects around them. They like using maybe a phone and pretending they're talking on the phone. They like taking maybe mom's bag and pretending to go shopping. They like taking a computer or even taking an old box and pretending that this is a computer to role-play situations they have seen like adults get involved in. So this is something we're going to remember and see how this reflects in games. We know that younger children, probably up to school age and maybe even in the first and second classes, are really self-centered and they have difficulty sharing things and negotiating things. So basically, when we talk about teaching younger kids, we keep in mind that a lot of activities are going to be probably individual or something you would do with each child rather than ask them to work in pairs. That's quite a special skill to learn. And also, like the last thing we will be keeping in mind is that talking about teaching younger children, they don't really read or write yet, so we do not normally rely on cards with words or like any writing activities, and basically with younger children pretty much everything is going to be oral, right? Repeating things and saying things. Okay, so as teachers, how do we respond to all this knowledge that we have? We use movement in lessons. We ensure that we use games where we have speaking and listening and movement all together involved. That's what games are for. We build up on their interest objects for role plays, and we help them learn to build this social interaction. Everyone who has taught younger kids of maybe 4 or 5 or 6 knows that it's almost painful to teach and to explain them how to work in pairs. They will be shouting, getting distracted, fighting, doing everything except what you really want them to do. But that's something that a teacher of young learners always faces. Like, you'll have to work with this pair work and group work skills separately, building up on them like lesson by lesson by lesson. So very difficult with young learners, 3, 4, nobody works in pairs really. Start working in pairs and small groups probably towards the beginning of school. With all that in mind, let's have a look at a couple of games and activities that I use very often and think that we could all enjoy. My biggest thing for young learners is Reale or single object games. You can see in the picture my student who is engaged in her computer work. She has a Mac computer. She's actually here about 4, and we have just started looking at the concept of letters and numbers. That was an individual class, I guess. However, this is something that she really enjoyed copying, and that's quite a possibility for a group work too. Basically, very simply, you just need a piece of paper, fold it, draw the squares. This is the basic idea. You use an object and decide what language you're going to practice. It's an easy thing that you can do with practically any topic. If you're doing everyday things, it can be a telephone, you can do numbers with telephone. So basically, choose an object according to the topic, provide a model, show them what you're going to make, help create the object, model the language you want them to use, and practice. Okay? We're going to try this out. So we're going to make something that I think is really quite universal for lots of topics. We are going to make magic wands. What language does this help practice?
Colors.
For example?
Colors.
For example?
For example, so what color is it? What color would you like to choose to ask children? What's your favorite color?
Oh, okay, yes, but
you can make any kid with different colors. So today you're green. So
yeah, with magic wand, if you don't know, the best thing to do is to turn people into something. Isn't that abracadabra, you're a frog. Abracadabra, you're... This is for younger kids, so you can yourself choose how you want to limit the language. It can be you're a frog, or you are playing the guitar, or you are riding a bike. So you yourself decide when you choose the object what language you're going to practice. Let's try this out. Okay. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll get you one more later on. Okay. Okay, take one please. Okay.
Here.
Perfect. Yes. I'll get to you in a second, sorry. Okay. Okay. That's no way I was to be in there. Would you pass it to that other table, please? Thank you. Okay. Sorry, would you pass it to that table over there? Thank you so much. Okay. Is there anybody who is lacking a straw? Okay, we'll sort that out in a second. Anybody over there? Okay. What's the shape? I'll get back to you. We have no... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're good. Okay. Sorry. Perfect. Okay. Very good. So, basically, this activity, this game, consists of several parts, and I think making a magic wand is also part of it. So, I would technically give very short and simple instructions because we remember the kids are about 4, 5. So they're slow, not very confident motor skills. That's why I cut out everything myself. So please take your straw. What's this? What do you need now? Star. Okay. So you need a star, right? Okay. Again, with young learners, you would probably want everything to be said. Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Could you please take one marker each? Okay, just one marker each. Okay. Okay. Could you please take one each and then pass it on? Let's do that. Okay. Would you pass it there, please? And also pass everything that you have.
One star.
Okay. You also need a marker. Okay. Could you pass it on, please? I'm sorry. Okay. So everybody, please take your straw, put it aside, take a star, and color it with the marker you have. Okay? Okay. To make things a little bit faster, I'm going to pass around the tape. So you take some and then use that. There is also one more. Sorry, could you pass that over there, please? And maybe this one over there. Yes, that works. Sure, whatever. Okay, ready? Okay, I'm going to give you about 1 or 2 minutes to practice in your groups. So you can decide yourselves. You're saying just animals maybe, or objects. The other person has to mind things, like abracadabra, you're a cat. Fantastic, yeah? This is how it works, okay? 1 minute, just try out your words.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Did you mostly do animals or anybody did something else? Things, yeah. So all sorts of nouns good for all vocabulary sets. No longer chunks of language, which is good again for young learners, and also adaptable for any level practically. I think up to like 6, 7, 8. Fine, that's one of the main things I would do with smaller kids. It doesn't have to be always a magic wand, it can be a phone, so you say, hello, it's Kata, or whatever. You can do a cup from a paper, so just bring it in, maybe color something and say like, I'd like some tea please, or I'd like some juice please. Very short phrases that everybody repeats in the game with maybe an object, which for them is actually a symbol of a real life outside. Okay? Okay. Other things that I do with small kids are movement games. I'm sure you all do the same. This is TPR, total physical response. So we basically would do robots, and robots is simply saying like clap your hands, stretch, swim, things like that. Everybody knows that. Animal party is practically the same, but with animals like crawl like a snake. You might want to do this with smaller kids on the floor, on a carpet. Yes, carpet is important. And fly like a butterfly, swim like a fish, and basically work on vocabulary for animals and movement. Yes, no, borderline is a nice game, and we would try that out if we had less furniture in the room. It works as follows. You might want to to ask everybody to stand up, and ask them to stand up just as a group without making a line or anything, just a group in the center of your class. You can then divide your class by putting some colored tape or some string or anything on the floor. This side is going to be yes, this side is no, and then you can work with, again, flashcards saying things like, this is a pig. Okay, yes, it's a pig. So technically everybody takes a step to this side. And then you say, this is a rabbit. So everybody steps here. Okay? Again, very simple, but I think it really illustrates the principle of TPR, of this physical response. Because although you don't say anything, by your action you show that you understand. And that's a really nice game for smaller kids who don't always say things. Games with picture flashcards, I'm sure everybody does that as well. So that would mean that you have someone, will it kill me? Yay, now it's standing here. Perfect. So you would have maybe, we're going to break it now, okay. Just not like this. Okay, so you have a number of flashcards with words you're working at, and then basically anything. Make a line. Please run to the butterfly. Okay, everybody runs, it has to touch. Or you can make it a little bit harder with like jump to the butterfly, or fly to the hedgehog, or tiptoe to the snail. Also working on different words, like drive to a butterfly, whatever. Lots of things with like what's missing. Sorry, what's happening? Like also
Word order.
word order, everything. There is a really nice file which you can find in the end of the presentation. Also, there is a website by Carol Reed. You probably know her. It's carolreed.com. And on her website, she has a nice list, like a really long one, of activities with flashcards for small kids. And there are like tons and tons of them, all listed. It's Carol Reed, read as in read a book, carolreed.com. The important thing, I think, in these sort of games is to change roles. I think everybody does them, like, please jump, please clap your hands. Very good, you as a teacher have a lot of speaking practice. Children are just doing things and jumping around. Very good, when are they going to speak? So we always change roles, and when I have done my 3 minutes of speaking, it's like, okay, who is the next teacher? Me. So now it's maybe Carter, and Carter says, fly. So please fly, please fly. You may be standing next to the child and just feeding in the words if they are unconfident or don't remember anything, that happens. But you will see how fast they can accumulate a range of vocabulary for like verbs and verb phrases that you use in class. That's really nice. Okay, and also early stage board games is something that I would begin doing with kids who are like 5, 6. It's still quite difficult to establish turn taking and teach children to do things in turns and not like, I want this card, okay, and everybody is a mess. But it's something that you really need to teach as a skill. So we start playing memory, which I'm sure everybody knows. This is a big pack of cards. This is something that maybe a 6-year-old can do. If you are working with younger kids, you can just choose maybe 6 pairs of cards, or 6 cards to begin with, like with 3 pairs, and explain how things work. Spend time on that. They will take time in the first attempt, but still I think it's worthy, and it's definitely something that you will need yourself as a teacher who is like working with a group. There is also big dice games. Also the PDF is in the presentation. I'm sure you will get the presentation when you receive the video. You can use anything, again, you can use pictures here. It's something that you can create yourself, very simple. Sorry, thank you. God, I forgot to. Okay. So there you can have. You can use a shadow. Okay. So on these dice you can use pictures. You don't have to write anything. So pictures of animals, objects, and again throw the dice. Say it's a chair. Next one. It's a board. It's a teacher. Any set of vocabulary.
Actually, we can use the plastic cube and stick
The big ones.
yeah.
Yes.
And change according to the job.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know where to get them? The big ones.
In the kids shop.
A shop?
In the kids shop.
And they're like big ones, right?
Yeah.
Like this
yeah,
size.
Big
We don't
plastic
want
ones.
something small.
I took them from my daughter and I use them even to practice.
You mean the cubes they use for building, like building blocks?
Yes.
Those ones,
So
yeah.
you stick
Good
them,
idea.
you take just pieces of paper and you stick and you change.
And you can change that, yeah.
It takes time to make such a cube.
It does.
If you just stick or
Yeah.
use a marker,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can do that
Very good point. Cool. Spinner games, domino, snap, again, are all board games which require practically no analytical skills. You don't have to keep anything in mind. You just take thing and use it the next. Thinking about several things at once is something that lots of games use, but that's something you do with older children. Younger children are not really ready to do that yet, so 3, 4, it might be a good idea to stick to these sort of games. Also, you can teach classroom language for games like it's your turn, no, sorry. For example, the memory. When we play, we open the cards, we see it's different, say, oh, no, sorry. So that they really use the language. It's like, yes, and they say, I'm first, it's your turn, no, wait, please. Short things that are really like the basic of social interaction. Okay. Moving on to slightly older children, and that's going to be learners who are 7 to 9 years old. Can you, in your wonderful groups, tell each other what's typical for this age group? Okay? We talked about the small ones, but what's typical for primary learners who are 7, 8, 9? Can you do this in your groups, please? Just talk together. Talk together. This is not the answer, so it's no use taking photos. What do they typically do at this age?
They like to not fall down.
They're more social. More intimate. Yes.
They have little skills.
Yes.
Basically, we can go over this gender here. When they learn these, they already learn the skills.
Yeah, they can use more of that, at least they can concentrate on listening to something.
Yeah, the motor skills are more difficult. They're more interested in something together, like
Okay. So basically, children who are older are, as we have discussed, capable of more complex social interactions. They have at least some idea of terms, people speaking. Sharing things can work a little bit easier, so you can give them like a handout for 2 people, and you won't have maybe a fight or something. Hopefully, depends on people. But basically, better social skills, also literacy skills, right?
Yeah.
We usually expect children start reading and writing, not very confidently maybe yet, but still there are skills and you can use that. They're better with motor skills, and they already know much more about life outside. They're no longer concentrated on like this single object, which is a symbol for something else. But they are starting to explore social interactions that they have seen. They have been to doctor, they have been to school probably, they have been to an airport, to a shop, so they know how certain things work. They can build up on that. And they are learning more about the world, and they are like willing to know more about it. And they can always like understand more. Basically with primary learners, I think any activity with pretty cards, and pretty cards I mean like, I think this is pretty now. You're working with children, come on. Doesn't have to be state of the art. Also things like this, don't lose them, like, oh god. Color markers, maybe scissors with funny edges. Basically anything, color paper makes life more acceptable in language classroom for, I think, kids. These sort of things turn many activities which we generally do, I think, into something game-like. It's not really a game like they would play outside, or it's not like a game, a big thing. But still, I think it makes just the classroom routine, just things we do typically, a little bit more pleasant and fun. Lots of things you can do with cards. Very common things are matching, grouping, like sort out the animals, moving things like put the animals to this wall, put the foods on this wall, finding things like look for, egg hunt idea is based on that, guessing like guess my card, describing things, and also hiding things like is it next to the cardboard, is it next to the sofa. We are going to have a look in detail at at a different thing. This is something that comes from a resource pack. Maybe somebody recognizes the resource pack?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's a
Box. Box? Which box?
pronunciation.
No, not that one. Try again. Communication. Yes, well done. Yes, the resource pack is called Primary Communication Box. And this is an activity to practice jobs and professions. And the idea is that you give a set of cards to a group of learners. A learner has a card, others ask him, are you, here you can have different words like, are you a doctor? No, I'm not. Are you a vet? No, I'm not. Are you a butcher? Yes, I am. Or with a higher level, you can probably do things like, do you work in a hospital? Do you wear a uniform? That's the idea that they offer in the resource pack. As I work in a state school, I have very mixed ability groups. And in some groups who are supposed to be like pre-intermediate, the level is really like more towards elementary. And generally when we see such activities, they're really nice, but sometimes they do not fit the level of the class or the interests of the class. So what I really like doing is taking the idea of activity and enhancing it a little bit. We're going to look at how this can be done. Basically, my idea is taking an activity from a resource pack, a game in this case, and breaking it into 3 parts so that I can provide more support for learners. Here is what I did. We're going to look at cards like that. Okay, we're going to work in our wonderful groups of 6. Please, when you receive this file, these cards, spread them out on the table so that everybody can see them, okay? Face up, the same for the bigger cards. Face up on the table so that everybody can see them. Good? Okay. Okay, please. You might want to join first. Put your pass, sorry. Sorry, could you pass that on the table? It's a very cool place. You didn't have this, oh, sorry. Don't match anything yet, just put them face up. Yeah, it's just for fun. No, it's not color coded, no, it's just for fun. Ladies, could you please spread the cards face up on the table, the yellow ones? Oh, there you have the second round. No, definitely not that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let's take it away. Okay? Yes?
I don't know. What should we do?
Wait a second. Just one more second. Okay?
No, okay. What should we do?
Just spread out all the cards on the table. The small cards and the big. Yes, that's perfect. Yes. Yes? Just a second. We'll do it. Yeah. Okay. So, again, stage 1. I want to provide a bit more support because I think maybe my students don't remember the places in the city. I want to revise that. Okay, everybody has places in the city. Can you please match them with jobs? Okay? Where do people work? Match them, your groups. You might have several people for one place.
We are ready.
Yeah, that's fine. But I like the fact that everyone's really engaged. But no, he doesn't work here, he works here. Yes. Okay? Ready? Sound good? Finished? Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what do you have for a cleaner? Yeah, here you can do different things depending on the group level, like ask for a full sentence or just check that they can match it. So cleaner works in a city, in a shop possibly. Nurse. And you can drill things like nurse works in a hospital, a doctor works in a whatever hospital too, a vet works in a zoo. So basically, drill through these sort of things. So now I have heard at least that the students have seen these words, so we can move on to the next stage of the game. Can you please put away the big cards, okay? Let's keep one pile of small cards and another pile of big cards, okay? Just separate them into two groups. Separate. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's better to put them like that. Yes, it's not there. Okay. Okay, now the pack of small cards, please face down. We're moving on to the second stage of our game. We're now going to use this as was designed by the authors of primary whatever books, communication. I'm thinking of maybe the first or the second class at school, or maybe children who are 6, 7. So not a lot of language yet. We're going to do two things. Do you work? and then in a hospital, in a city, at home, okay? And the second one is going to be, are you a vet, a doctor, okay? So, yes, my job.
Teacher.
Sorry, one by one. Let's start.
Do you work in a hospital?
No, I don't.
Do you work in an office?
No, yes, I do.
Are you a manager?
Office or...
Are you a manager?
Yes.
Are you
You're an engineer?
Are you a cleaner?
Yes, I am a cleaner. Okay, you got the idea? Please, let's do 1 or 2 rounds in your groups, okay?
Go on. Okay.
1 minute.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I'm not.
Are you an engineer?
I don't.
In an office? Work in the shops?
Okay, thank you. Let's get all that together. So, technically, this is something that you can do with, I think, lots of activities from resource packs. It's just adapting them and adding their several stages. Again, I think these cards, you write on them with different markers. Fun, looks like a game. Finally, you probably have noticed how children at different ages will tell you that this is not a game.
Yes. Oh, when are we going to play now?
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
play the game. No,
Exactly.
that's the game.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is a very funny moment because definitely children develop this concept of a game, and if for younger learners, like a phone from paper is a fantastic game. For children who are 6 or 7, this looks suspicious. They probably sense that something is wrong. They don't always think, this was not a game, teacher. But definitely towards like 7 or 8 or 9, they build their understanding of like this is for fun, this is for learning. But generally, even though this is not strictly speaking a game, I think it's a very game-like activity, and that's how like classes with children should be functioning, because instead of writing and grammar, this is also a bit of reading and speaking. You can ask them for homework to write questions or things. But basically, this is the sort of games that I would offer mostly in classes. However, where are the real games? Sorry, that's... real games are definitely board games. This is something that I have brought today, and this is something that we would typically do maybe in the end of the class, maybe once a week rather than every lesson, but with kids up to like 9, 10, 12 even, we do lots of things here. What is a board game that's suitable for a lesson? I think that the first question you ask when you choose a board game is, does it have any language? Or you are simply manipulating things there? Because some things look like they have lots of elements and they have lots of details, and it looks like you're going to say a lot of things. But in reality, when you unpack them and start playing, everyone is super happy because they're just turning cards, exchanging cards, and saying nothing. So you either need to choose a game, and when you're in a shop, you need to think, like, what are they going to say? Or secondly, you can use a lot of like classroom language for games and insist that children say like, it's your turn, please take a card. No, you are wrong, sorry, your turn. That's right, like, I'm first. That's a way to substitute the lack of language to support the game with little language. But technically, I think the best way out is just choosing more critically in a shop in the beginning. So choose something that you will like know that you will understand what they will be saying. There are games that allow you to practice a particular area of vocabulary. For example, this game. Does anybody know it?
Yeah.
It's Guess Who, like very famous, I think, American.
They also play this game.
Yeah. Basically, you play in pairs or in two small groups. One group and the other have the same set of faces. Yeah, I see. It's okay, thank you. It's the same. One person, thank you so much. One person from one group decides on the face here, and others ask him yes or no question, like, is it a man or a woman? Does your person have a beard? Does your person have mustache? Does he or she then have glasses? Okay? So this is a game which is an illustration for specific language practice. You won't really be able to use this for anything except vocabulary. Let's guess who. I'm going to pass it around. If you want, just have a look. Then another game which is also quite specific to situation is this one here. It's called Mini Nature, but basically this is a happy family type of game. Do you know happy families? Mm-hmm. The idea is that you have maybe a family of animals, of forest animals. You then have a family of sea animals. I'm going to pass them around. You also have 4 cards of animals from jungle and 4 cards of farm animals. Okay? Huh? You have to collect them, so you spread them out in the group, and you can either teach children, like, can I have an elephant, please? No, sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, this is specific to animals. You can make something like this. You can find something like this for other vocabulary types. Does anybody teach English File Elementary? New English File Elementary? Yeah. They have in the teacher's book a family, like Happy Families game for food. You can use it with kids because it just has pictures. I'm passing this around. The same idea is Misty Boo over here. It's a Halloween version of Animals, Happy Families. Again, if you're interested, have a look. Another sort of games is a brain box. You probably know about it.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it today, but it's very
When
popular.
you've got 10 minutes to remember what's in on
So 10 minutes is allowed. Yes, 10 seconds or something. It's a really nice brand of games. They create games for different ages and topics. They also have version for smaller kids. It's a mixture of Russian and English, which is a little bit strange, but you can play that. And they also have like football, history, whatever. Very nice. You can buy them in Moskva or something, in lots of shops actually. The English version. Guess who? Somebody's looking at it. Darling Kindersley games are really, really nice. They are initially, I think, made for like native speakers and to support literacy skills like in native speaker environment. I would use this with maybe 9-year-olds who already understand things like parts of speech. Let's have a quick look at what is there. Also, I got it in Moscow, absolutely possible. Every player receives a small board. Okay, you can either use the full version here. says the, adjective, noun, verb, article, noun. The longer version here has got more parts of speech. Short or long, you decide. Everybody gets that. You can give this to a pair or to maybe a small group. You then have 1 million little cards, which I'm afraid to take out. But basically they are all these parts of speech. So you can have nouns with pictures and words, so nice and easy for children. Horse, princess, very common words, very nice, nothing like difficult. Also articles, also adjectives, little, funny, shiny, quite basic ones. All these parts of speech, put them in the center. There is a board that you also need to put in the center, something like this. The game consists of throwing the big dice, getting somewhere here, taking a card, and then you build the sentence. Really nice beginning of syntaxes, good for children who are developing analytical skills. So, like school children, very nice.
And you have to make a full sentence.
A full sentence, and the objective of the game is to make a silly sentence, because you can like, a stripy butterfly is eating a sandwich. I can't say that I find this particularly amusing, but all children seem to enjoy these absurd sentences. Something probably in children's minds appeals to them. So this is also quite specific. A couple of other games that I like would be a game called Double. Does everybody, yeah? So basically the idea of two cards that must have a similar picture. Again, you can provide a list of vocabulary, just put it in the center and practice the reaction. We can obviously pass that around. And the sentences I'm going to leave here because there are a lot of things. There are also, like, talking about language games, like very silly sentences. There is a brand called ELI. They're really nice. They do readers and they also do like language games. This one is called Let's Party. Again, this is a domino where you're required to make correct present continuous sentences. So Brian is taking a photo. You need to find the picture of Brian, match it somebody else. This is good for maybe slightly older teenagers. There are, I think, about 5 or 6 different boxes like that, all practicing different sorts of grammar. Memory, again, very simple for smaller kids. And also, like one of my all-time favorites is a game called Stop Spot from Jacko. Jacko are genius. The game is played by, say, 4 players, and you receive a face. A girl.
Stop spot.
Stop spot.
Stop spot.
And as you get it from the picture, it's about a severe case of chickenpox. Right? Yes. Basically, everybody gets a face. I use it for smaller kids, but everyone enjoys it. You then have a magical thing. It's a very similar, and there are spots. Imagine it or not, like spots are this size. And spots are different in size. Some are smaller ones, and there are bigger ones. So you put the spots in the center of your table or wherever you are playing. I'm losing them, okay? No, it's fine, it's fine. You also have several cards which indicate how many you should take. So you take 1 or 3, no. Then you have medicine, decide what you will teach. So you say medicine or syrup or let's take some medicine. This is epidemic or everyone's ill.
What does it mean? You take everyone?
Yeah, so basically cards are in the center, spots are around, everybody has a face or a boy face. Take a card, so I take one spot and put it on my face. By the end of the game, we compare how many spots everybody has, because there is a chance to lose them, believe it or not. There is like -3, you took some medicine, so you take away your spots. And you can even have a magic shot, which protects you from the epidemic situation. That's
like it.
And
They will not like they will not like to lose them.
They really enjoy this game. It's super fun, and they are like, oh, sports, and generally it works.
Who will be the winner?
Person with the lowest number of spots. Okay. You can play several rounds, award a teddy bear to somebody who has won this round or that round. Basically, I'm going to leave it here again because there are small spots which I'm afraid to lose, but you can definitely walk up here after the session. Right, okay. Just a couple of other things I brought. There is a variation on the game called Activity, which is quite popular, I think. This is for kids who are 6 to 10. That's fine.
What is the name?
It's called Gato Loco, which is called Crazy Cat or something like this. Again, it's from Jacko. Cards are really nice because they allow you to practice different actions. So here you have a number of cards. Again, there are several ways to play this game. Basically, you have got different actions, like challenges. Throw up these cards, put the cards together, sing or shout, like stretch. You can decide what you're choosing. It's all about pulling a card, showing things, winning or losing a challenge, and then getting to keep the cards or like leaving them aside. Okay? Again, this one we can easily, I guess, pass around. Probably the last from what I brought today is a really nice pack from Scholastic. You can get this online and you can actually get to print out all these things. It's available on the internet. It's called Activate. No, okay. Activate. All right. Games for Learning American English. Not necessarily American. They are actually snakes and ladders kinds of things. So 100 different variants. Like which one is different and why. About me, nice speaking activity for maybe all the kids. Like something I really enjoy doing is, I think school is, and again and again and again. I'm again going to leave this here. But this is all very printable and good for speaking at any topic, something like that. We're going to leave them here. So, just once again, happy families, brain books, Guess Who, Dueling Industry Games, Scholastic Game Pack, and Jago Games, which provide a variety of different settings. A couple of other things, moving away from board games, drama games for children, charades, this type of thing. You are washing your car, you're cleaning the board, everybody gets a strip of paper and shows what they're doing. Statues is something you can do with very small kids. Again, this is a different variation of what's happening. Yeah, super, that's cool. That was actually good. Statues is a more static and calm variation on the robots, so you would basically say, you are cats, and you have to freeze showing a cat. So it's not much movement. This is movement, but very limited. It's like you are a snail, you are a butterfly. You show that you're a butterfly, but without the dynamics of the movement. Do the opposite is, if I say, for example, stretch, you like touch your toes. I say jump and you sit. Okay, clap your hands, fly. You can work with exact opposites or just ask the children to simply do something that you're not saying. Okay? And Simon Says. Yes, everybody knows Simon Says. Okay, so all those games that involve drama. Okay, how are we doing this one?
Yes. Simon Says, clap your hands. Clap your hands.
Simon Says, yeah, is a game when you say, please stretch. And you stretch, but children don't. Please swim, no. But when I say Simon Says, swim is the only moment where you can do the game. Okay, I guess talking about games, that was pretty much all I had. A couple of moments more. Let's see if you remember anything from the session. So, 3 types of games we discussed for younger children. Can you please talk in your groups and remember what 3 types of games for younger kids we discussed?
Designing objects around
Yeah, sure. I'm sure there was I'm sure there was some
They play role.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Reality game, yes, with the object. What's next? Movement games and easy board games. Memory, 2 things. Movement was the TBR. Yes, you're right, absolutely. Okay, again, I'll give you a minute for your group. Types of games for all the children.
We have discussed games.
Clever. Fast finishers. Okay.
Give us an extra task.
Cut this out. Something. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. Okay. Okay, basically anything with pretty cards, just using them for language work and things like that. Resource pack games, enhanced, again, primary, the books. I also like using, you probably know there is this old resource pack series called Beginner Communication Games by Jill Hatfield. Beginner communication game, beginner vocabulary games, they are very simple, but you can adapt them to use with your class very nicely. And also, this is board games. Oh, that's magic, okay? Okay? All right. Is that it? And drama games. Basically, drama, I meant things like acting out, right? That's what we quickly looked at in the end. Like Simon Says, miming in different ways, these sort of things. Okay, that was pretty much everything I wanted to bring here today. We maybe have some time for some questions and answers. Questions, comments, ideas? You want to share something? Okay. Perfect. Good. No questions. Okay. Then maybe a couple of things about resources. These are some books that I... Oh, what is this doing here? God, sorry. Okay. This is not from... Okay, whatever. Okay, let's have a look this way. So, some of the books that probably everybody knows. This one is good. This is a collection of very generic games. Also, this one by Carol Reed. This is the books from which we got the small cards. Here are some books which basically have a collection of games from like other countries and games which are more like camp games, not really lesson games because they involve movement and they also need like more space, maybe throwing things. But here are lots of ideas and sometimes you can adapt them to use them for language classes. This is a very different story. These are like real games. There is a book. Sorry, I can't do anything with it now. This is a book by Zhenya Katz, maybe you know her. It's called Игры для начинающих мам or something like this. She's really good. She explains how to work with basic maths and basic like literacy skills in your language, but she has lots of nice ideas. There are some books here, and this one from IKEA. This is a really nice book. It has got a lot of ideas for storytelling, like how to tell stories and what materials you can use with them, like objects and cards and how to make cards, blah blah blah. And this one also combines crafts and also like games. You mostly will find something that you will need to do individually, but also something you probably can adapt. This is the Carol Reed's list of flashcard games for smaller kids. I'm sure you will get this presentation with the pack of materials when you will be sent the videos after the conference. But in case you want that faster or something, these are my contacts. This is my email. You can email me and I'll send you the presentation, no problem. This is my blog where I write a little bit about some ideas for kids. And this is my Facebook. So thanks again for coming and it was nice to see you here today.